The morning rush at Harper's Cafe in downtown Manhattan was its usual blend of chatter, caffeine, and chaos. Steam hissed from the espresso machine, trays clattered against polished counters, and rain tapped lightly against the window panes. Amelia Clark, 24, moved swiftly between tables, her apron stained with coffee but her smile unwavering. Every day started the same: early shift, low tips, and quiet dreams of one day finishing her graphic design degree. At table 7 sat Ethan Ward, 22, impeccably dressed, expensive watch gleaming under the cafe's lights. His sleek black car waited outside, a quiet symbol of everything Amelia didn't have. He scrolled his phone, oblivious to the world, until Amelia approached with his latte. "Your almond latte, sir," she said softly, setting it down that he didn't look up. "Took you long enough," Ethan muttered, his tone dripping with arrogance. Amelia blinked, caught off guard but calm. "I'm sorry, sir. We're a bit busy today." Finally, he met her eyes, sharp, assessing, dismissive. "Busy? Or just slow? You people always have excuses." A silence fell over the nearby tables. The word "you people" hung heavy in the air. Amelia's throat tightened, but she kept her voice steady. "I'll make sure it's faster next time." Ethan smirked. "Don't bother. I'll stick to places where they know how to serve properly." He stood, tossed a dollar bill on the table, and left. The door chimed behind him, leaving a small, embarrassed stillness. Amelia exhaled shakily, pretending it didn't sting. Her coworker, Liam, leaned over the counter. "Ignore him, Ames. Some rich kid who's never had to wait for anything in his life." She nodded, forcing a small smile. But later, when she passed the window, she saw Ethan again, stepping into a black limousine, his driver holding an umbrella. That afternoon, the city's rhythm slowed. The rain grew heavier, and Amelia clocked out early to deliver a small catering order. She carried the paper bag through puddles, unaware of where it was going. An address written neatly on the receipt: Ward Enterprises, 45th floor. She pressed the elevator button, unaware that the boy who'd insulted her that morning was upstairs, the CEO's son. The elevator doors opened to marble floors and a wall of glass. A receptionist smiled. "You must be the catering delivery? Please, this way." As Amelia followed, her eyes widened. Everything gleamed with power and wealth. She set the food down in a boardroom just as the door swung open. And there he was. Ethan froze mid-step, his confident smirk evaporating. "You?" he whispered. The board members glanced between them. Amelia stood straight, clutching the receipt. "Delivery from Harper's Cafe," she said evenly, her voice trembling only slightly. The room went silent. His father, Richard Ward, the Billionaire CEO, noticed the tension. "Something wrong, son?" Ethan stammered, his cheeks pale. "And no, sir. Just someone I've seen before." Amelia placed the receipt gently on the table. "Thank you for choosing Harper's Cafe," she said. Then she turned to leave. Ethan watched her walk away. The girl he'd humiliated that morning. And for the first time, he felt something unfamiliar. Shamed as the elevator doors closed, he caught his reflection in the glass. The arrogance was still there, but now it looked hollow. Cut to black. That night, Ethan couldn't shake the memory. Her eyes, her composure, the quiet strength behind the humiliation he'd caused. He sat by his apartment window overlooking the city skyline. His father's words echoing from earlier. "Ethan, someday you'll have to learn that respect can't be bought." The next morning, he decided to make things right, or at least tried. He returned to Harper's Cafe. The same place, the same smell of roasted beans and rain. Amelia was behind the counter, tying her apron. When she saw him, her expression froze. "Back for another slow coffee?" she asked, her tone calm but cold. Ethan smiled nervously. "No, I came to apologize." She raised an eyebrow. "For which part? The insult or the dollar tip?" He exhaled. "Both. I was being stupid. I didn't realize who you were." She crossed her arms. "And who am I?" He hesitated. "Someone who deserved respect. More than I gave." For a long second, Amelia studied him, not with anger, but disappointment. Then she said quietly, "Respect shouldn't depend on who someone is. Ethan, it's supposed to be the starting point." Her words hit harder than anything his father had ever said. A moment later, the cafe door opened. Richard Ward stepped inside. His sharp suit contrasted with the cozy cafe interior. Ethan, he said, voice stern. You left a meeting for this? Ethan turned. Dad, I was apologizing. Richard's gaze softened as he looked at Amelia. You're the young woman from yesterday, aren't you? My son told me what happened. Amelia's heart pounded. It's all right, sir. People make mistakes. But Richard shook his head. No, people learn from them. Ethan, I think you should see what real work looks like. The next day, Ethan reported to Harper's Cafe, not as a customer, but as a trainee. His father had arranged it. Liam grinned as he handed him an apron. Welcome to the real world, mate. Hours passed. Ethan spilled milk, burned toast, and got scolded by impatient customers. But Amelia? She quietly guided him. Relax. People aren't your employees here. They're just people. By the end of the shift, he was drenched in sweat, but smiling. For the first time, he'd earned something. Even if it was just a thank you from a stranger for refilling their cup. That night, he walked Amelia home through the quiet streets of Manhattan. The air smelled of rain and roasted beans. You didn't have to help me today, he said. Maybe not, she replied. But everyone deserves a second chance. A week later, Ward Enterprises held its annual charity meeting, an event attended by major investors and the press. Richard Ward began his speech with an unexpected announcement. Before we discuss profits, I want to share something more valuable, a lesson. The room stilled. Ethan sat beside him, unsure what was coming. Last week, Richard continued, my son insulted a young woman who works harder than most people in this building. Instead of walking away, she taught him respect. She reminded us that true worth isn't found in status. It's in character. Then he gestured toward the doorway. Amelia stepped in, wearing a simple blazer, the same girl from the cafe, now invited as a guest. Cameras clicked. Ethan stood, his face flushed, but this time with pride. Dad, he whispered. Richard smiled. Ethan insisted she be here. She's joining our design department as a new intern because talent deserves opportunity. Amelia froze, shocked. I don't know what to say. Ethan looked at her. I sincere. Just say yes. The audience applauded softly. In that moment, the distance between Billionaire and Waitress disappeared. After the meeting, Ethan found her by the window overlooking the city. You know, he said, I thought money made people powerful. But it's actually empathy. She smiled. Took you long enough to learn. They both laughed, quietly. Humbly. As the city lights reflected against the glass. Ethan finally understood what his father had meant. True power wasn't about who served whom. It was about who chose to serve with kindness. Moral. Respect costs nothing, but it can change everything.